Hi, Dr. Robert Selig. In today's video, I want to talk about weight loss resistance. You know, as we all know, we have an obesity epidemic in this country. What is more alarming, we have children that are obese. We have just a huge problem that we must address. So, you know, I've seen people do all the dieting, all the exercising, and yet they hit that roadblock where they can't lose weight. You know, even with extreme diets, even with extreme exercise. Now, in my program, I put people on this Wyco Transformation 360 diet, and after 5 weeks on the diet, what I'll see is they'll lose 20 pounds after 5 weeks, but then they hit that roadblock. And half of these markers will clear up, but then another half of those markers still persist. So in today's video, I want to talk about what are the 7 major roadblocks to why we cannot lose weight. And again, we're going to go through these 7, and the number 1 reason is liver toxicity. Number 2 is estrogen dominance. 3 is low thyroid hormone. 4, insulin resistance. 5, stress in our adrenals, and chronic infections such as candida, such as parasites, such as, you know, viral, bacterial, chronic infections. And also heavy metal toxicity and food sensitivity. So those are the basic 7 major roadblocks to why we cannot lose weight. And so today I was going to talk about all 7, but I realized just talking about the first and second one will take most of my time. So this will be a continuation of videos so I can go through my 7 on the list. Now, today we're going to start with the liver. You know, as I always say, all roads lead to the liver. The liver is one of those amazing organs that in Chinese medicine, it's the general. It does 1,000,001 things. And so when we look at liver toxicity, you know, we have to say, what went wrong? You know, why are we so overwhelmed with this liver toxicity? And so, you know, really we have a pill for every ill. We're taking Tylenols, Advils, you know, we're taking pills for everything. And we're paying a price for this because everything has to go through the liver and the kidneys. We also have, you know, we live in the age of toxicity. What do I mean by that? We have all these petrochemical residues, the plasticizers, and a whole host of so many toxic things that are getting into our food, water, air, basically getting into our cells, causing hormone disruption, causing toxicity. So we have to really get to this liver problem if we're truly going to take it to the next level of losing weight. So as I said, the liver is the general. It does 1,000,001 things. You know, the liver stores our glycogen, and when the body needs glucose, it'll go to the liver. The liver processes, makes, and manufactures our fatty acids, our amino acids. It makes our ketone bodies, our phospholipids. It makes our cholesterol. It's involved in blood clotting factors, immunoglobulins, and bilirubin. So the liver has so many functions, and when the liver becomes infiltrated with this toxicity, the liver is going to have too much fire heat. And what we say in Chinese medicine, fire rising. And when that fire rises, it's causing a wave of inflammation in the body. And we'll go over some of those signs and symptoms. So we have an abundance of this liver toxicity, and we want to know what are some of the symptoms that we experience when someone really has a toxic liver. So some of the symptoms could be anything from blood sugar problems to weight gain, which is huge because when that liver is stagnant, it's not going to make your amino acids, it's not going to pull them properly, it's not going to deal with the glycogen and the glucose stores properly. We're going to have indigestion, huge indigestion, and everything associated with gastrointestinal problems from gas and bloating and diarrhea and constipation and just feeling horrible after we eat a meal. So the liver has huge implications with just overall digestive health. Now, in Chinese medicine, we know that the liver rules the neck and the muscles and the ligaments and tendons. So when that liver fire rises, it's causing our neck pain, it's causing our TMJ, it's causing our bilious headaches. Also floaters in the eyes, vision problems. That's all ruled by the liver. So we have a huge understanding of how we're going to detoxify the liver if we're truly going to lose weight. And also the liver is responsible for hormones. It's where all our hormones are conjugated, steroid hormones are conjugated in the liver, and it's responsible when we have liver toxicity, brittle bones. So when we look at the liver, there's two phases to the liver in detoxification. So, normally we have normal endogenous byproducts of metabolism that your body makes natural toxins from digestion and breathing and all the byproducts of metabolism. So we have that we have to deal with, which the body is designed to do that very intelligently. However, we have the exogenous toxins that are coming in from the environment. Again, that's the pills, that's the plasticizers, the flame retardants, it's the petroleum chemicals, it's all of these things that are truly causing us to walk around with this enormous amount of liver toxicity, which is truly destroying our health. Remember, the German doctors always said you don't die of cancer, heart disease, you die of liver failure and kidney failure. So we have to understand the organs of detoxification, and we have to understand how important the liver is if we truly want to get to this weight loss resistant problem. So in phase one, it's where we take a fat-soluble toxin and we add vitamin B2, riboflavin, we add vitamin B3, niacin, B6, B12, folic acid, glutathione, the mother of all antioxidants. Flavonoids are needed, phospholipids. So these nutrients come in and help really change the chemistry of these fat-soluble toxins to make it more water-soluble. Then we have this intermediate phase where we go from phase one liver detoxification to this intermediate phase where we also need a lot of antioxidants, and the classic famous antioxidants is vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, selenium, zinc. Those are huge. Copper is needed, flavonoids is needed, manganese is needed. So if we have a problem with a nutrient deficiency, we're not going to detox. We need to understand these biochemical pathways in the liver and what it needs so it can handle this exuberant amount of toxicity that we've been inundated with in the 21st century. So for example, if a woman's on birth control, her vitamin B6 will tank. And without vitamin B6, again, we're going to lose that phase one liver detoxification. So we really have to understand how important nutrients are when we're dealing with liver toxicity. Then when we go into phase two liver detoxification, that's where, again, we're making the, phase one is the fat-soluble, more to the water-soluble. And then those water-soluble toxins are going to exit through the portals of elimination, our urine, our sweat, our feces. And that's how we get all this garbage out. And also in phase two liver detoxification, it's we add some chemistry and we add some nutrients in phase two, and we call that methylation, sulfation, glucuronidation, acetylation. All we're doing really is adding sulfur groups, methyl groups to, maybe it's a bad estrogen, we're adding a methyl donor. So understanding the importance of methyl donors in this equation. And also the nutrients needed in phase two, we need a lot of amino acids such as methionine, cysteine, glycine, glutathione. We need B5, B12. And if someone's a vegan, they're not really going to get a good amount of B12. So it's important that the vegans understand how to supplement, so we can all deal with this liver toxicity. We also need folic acid, magnesium is huge, vitamin C, choline, taurine. So we understand the importance of nutrients in phase one, phase two liver detoxification. So when someone is having weight loss issues, like I said, all roads lead to the liver, so we must look at the liver to get to the bottom of why we can't lose weight. So what are some of the action steps that we're going to take to deal with this liver toxicity? the common sense one is we got to avoid the exposure to these toxins. So if we're, putting on, the shampoos and the toxic soaps and the mouthwashes, the toothpaste, and, the colognes, all these things are coming from petroleum, industries, and they're really disrupting all the hormones. So having a deeper understanding of this toxicity and knowing what to avoid is one of the key strategies so the poisons aren't coming in. Like I said, your body's already making enough of its own toxins with normal life metabolism, but when we're thrown in with all these other toxins, that puts a stress on the liver becomes stagnant, a stagnant liver becomes a very sluggish liver, and when you have a sluggish liver, you're not going to do all the necessary functions that the liver does. So very key that we understand what we're dealing with liver toxicity. So again, some of the action steps, it's, exposure to toxins, number one. Also the diet, this is a biggie. We have to really clean up the diet. And if we're on the standard American diet, if we're on processed foods, restaurant food, we got to have a paradigm shift, and we got to really take this seriously, because right now I don't see results. I don't see people really changing their diets. I see them eating the same garbage foods over and over. So we have to have a better relationship to our food. And again, the food is the earth element. The earth is, having a better relationship to the earth, from the probiotics to the foods to the minerals. Some good foods that are very specific for the liver are beets. Beets is going to give you some methylators in there. Cruciferous vegetables, the broccoli, the cauliflower, the Brussels sprouts. There's some great cruciferous vegetables that really help with detoxification of, for example, the bad estrogens. Then we have an assortment of amazing liver herbs, from turmeric to dandelion root to burdock root. We have artichoke, milk thistle. Then we have some nice formulas that include some of these specific herbs, such as bilivin, hepatavin, gallbladder ND, liver ND. And these herbs help the liver to detoxify. So it's really nutrients for the herbs. So there's a lot of intelligence in nature with herbalism and how we can help deal with this toxicity. And then we have the heavy hitters. These are some of the real great detoxifiers that we have for the liver. We have alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, which is a precursor to your glutathione. We have calcium D-glucarate. That helps eliminate toxins. That's involved in glucuronidation to make a fat-soluble more water-soluble. So that's a heavy hitter. N-acetylcysteine, that's another pathway in the glutathione production. We need selenium, we need zinc, and it's very important when I talked about action steps. We need to test. We need to do heavy metal testing. We need to assess mineral ratios, zinc to copper, sodium to potassium, calcium to magnesium, because it's all about the ratios of the minerals. And here's another big player is indole-3 carbinol. That comes from cruciferous vegetables, and that really adds methyl groups to the bad estrogen so your liver can deal with it in phase 1, phase 2 detoxification. And we also have DIM, diindolylmethane. That's another methylator. And hydrochloric acid. I've gone blue in the face talking about the importance of HCl and breaking down the protein so we can make our amino acids, so those amino acids can do their job because they're needed in phase 1, phase 2 detoxification. And HCl is also important for methylation. So we're going to keep hitting this theme of methylation because it's huge when we're dealing with the liver. Now, that's all fine and dandy when we're adding the herbs, we're adding the super nutrients, we're adding the superfoods, we're adding all this amazing stuff. But if we don't understand the liver, gallbladder ducts, if they're clogged, all that methylation, glucuronidation, sulfation, if it can't get the garbage out, then we have a backup of the biliary duct, so those poisons still stay in us. So we have therapies such as gallbladder cleanses, coffee enemas. These things are amazing for opening up the portals, opening up the bile duct so we can flush out the garbage. And again, I'll have my patients doing maybe 50, 60, 70 coffee enemas before I'll put them on a gallbladder flush. We got to start getting this garbage out. So there's a lot to liver detoxification, more than just taking a nutrient. We also have the emotions of the liver gallbladder. If we have calcified aggression, our anger, our resentment, our bilious temperament, all that calcifies the organ. So where we come in with to deal with the emotional component of liver detoxification is homeopathics. We have amazing homeopathic formulas in a Fibonacci series. We have your classic liver homeopathic remedies from Nux vomica to arsenicum to chelidonium to lycopodium. So again, each of those remedies are very specific to the patient, and those energetically help the liver detoxify. So those are some of the key factors that we have to reflect on when we're trying to get to the root of why our liver is so toxic. So we're going to talk about estrogen dominance, and that will be another major roadblock to why we can't lose weight.